Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, Encyclopaedia Moronica, R is for receipts or BROUGHTEN. I have a workaround for that. Mesh network gets returned. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Encyclopaedia Moronica, R is for receipts or BROUGHTEN. Well, TFTS, it's been a hot minute or two. Or 7 months. One of the things my current employer decided to do during the period when the whole world was on fire was to bring forward the merging of two divisions. It made sense that the divisions would merge. They performed technical tasks for customers, both ad hoc and contracted service work, emergency call-outs and scheduled maintenance. What made less sense was that I was pushed into the supervisor role, a purely administrative position. This made little sense, as I was the only person with the training, experience, and importantly, the certification that allowed me to carry out certain scheduled works. Ensuring this work is continuously up to date is important, as it provides a certain amount of legal cover for our customers. As a result, I was stuck trying to complete a 100% administrative office-bound role, while also trying to complete a 100% field-based role. As you might imagine, this did not work as good as I may be. I cannot be in two places at once. However, after I repeatedly brought this up with my manager, regional, and his manager, national, I eventually managed to drive home my point. National manager, NM, you need a business case for new staff. And it better be a good one, because we're in a hiring freeze right now due to the merger. Me, how about backfilling the position for the technician that you just promoted into management? Is that a good enough business case? Because I'm consistently doing between 60 and 80 hours a week here, and nobody seems to care. NM, the technician that we just promoted. Who are you talking about? Me. NM, oh. Ooh. Okay, yeah, let me get back to you. A scant 6 months later, precisely nothing had happened. In mid-November, the pre-Christmas workload was ramping up hard, so I booked some leave for late January through to mid-February. It was only a couple of weeks, I reasoned. It's more than 2 months, that's plenty of notice, I reasoned. January finally arrived, and 2 days before my much-anticipated leave was due to start, I noticed that it had not yet been approved. I emailed the regional manager, as he was the only one that could approve my leave, and sure enough, a few hours later, I received the email notification that my leave had been approved in the system. On Friday, I set an out-of-office message on my emails, changed my voicemail to reflect the date of my return, and turned my phone off. I did not turn it back on until the day I returned to work. Email. From Regional Manager. Subject: Urgent immediate response required. Sent 3 days ago. To Gambat, CC, the entire f***ing world including the affected customer. Gambat. I assigned you a task and you didn't complete it. I need a damn good reason why you didn't do it, and I need it immediately. I was intrigued. I was concerned. I was somewhat dubious about my prospects for continued employment. So I went down the rabbit hole. And I drafted a reply. To Regional Manager, CC, the exact same recipients including the National Manager. I have looked into the issue and spoken with the technician involved. He began filling out the job clearance form, but stopped midway through because he was able to identify from inside his vehicle that the damage exceeded what he would be able to repair, given the parts he had with him at the time. As such, having never left his vehicle or begun barricading off a work area, he did not complete the form to start work. However, it appears that this form was included in the monthly roll-up, despite its incomplete status. Normally, such a form would be identified by the supervisor myself during the end-of-month process before it is sent to affected customer. However, I applied for leave in November, which you approved in January. When you emailed me the forms for review on February 1st, I was already on leave, the leave that you approved less than a week earlier. An out-of-office email was sent to you to remind you that I was on annual leave, the text of which reads, "I will not return until at least February 15th, so I did not see your original email, dated February 1st, with its request to review these forms by February 3rd until today, February 15th. It would appear that you approved my leave, but did not arrange cover for any tasks that would normally be assigned to me during my absence. It would also appear that you did not review the forms for completeness before forwarding them to affected customer. If you have any questions or require clarification on any of these points, please see the attached emails and screenshots. If you require any further clarifications, please let me know by reply email. Receipts. Broughten. The silence was so deafening that I can only assume I was removed from whatever reply emails were sent. The crap raining down from the regional manager only intensified after that. Finally, a mere 9 months after he had originally promised me a replacement, the national manager sent me an email that they had finally begun advertising for a new technician. Once the hiring process was completed, I would no longer need to ever leave the office again. I picked up the phone and told the national manager not to bother hiring a new technician. The regional manager was discussed in depth. The words constructive dismissal were used. I officially stepped down from the supervisor role and returned to full-time technician status. This morning, I received an urgent breakdown call. It was an older piece of equipment, older than some of the staff, that operated, so sudden catastrophic failure was definitely not outside the realm of possibility. There are also legal obligations to have said equipment running, so while not necessarily critical to operation, it was important to get it fixed or replaced ASAP. I raced out to the customer's site and quickly diagnosed the issue. As I turned the power back on at the wall, one of the staff watching me spoke up. "Site staff, SS, is that all it was?" "Me, it's back up now, so it looks like it." "SS, I'm so sorry. It must be so annoying to get called out for an emergency when it's actually something so simple." "Me, honestly? I'm happy to do it, I wouldn't do anything else." And that is how I learned to love the stupid, easy faults, even the tedious and repetitive preventative maintenance. I chose this. I choose this. Because, in short, I love this. I have a workaround for that. Short one, but just had to share it. I work as sysadmin for a bank and provide over-the-phone support for some of the systems we administrate. Get a call about a temperamental system that stops responding and crashes if you mess around with it while it's loading a report. User, my system name here, keeps crashing every time I minimize it. Me, okay, have you tried not minimizing it while it's loading? User, asterisk ignoring me asterisk anyway, I want this log default, I've got screenshots and my details if you want to take them down. Me, it's not really a fault and not something we'd log. Please just don't use the minimize button while it's loading. User, well, it's just habit at this point and I want it sorting, I need to look at other things on my screens, you know. Me, there are multiple ways to navigate your desktop that don't require you minimizing the system. Just don't use the minimize button during that short window of time. User, asterisk ignoring me asterisk, but how will this ever get fixed if you don't log it? Me. Edit, just to clarify, this is a very old banking system, no active development, and the process to replace it would be long and painful for how little it's used. It's much easier to tell users to not mess with it while it's loading, and this isn't an issue for most users. Mesh network gets returned. First time poster, go easy folks. I worked as a technician that would work in shop and be sent out to a customer's address to help with IT related things. Sometimes this would entail fixing an issue or setting something up. One day I get a ticket stating the customer needs a mesh network setup, and I'm provided no other information. After waiting outside for around 25 minutes, the customer rolls into the driveway, and we get down to business. The conversation was something like this. Customer, hey, sorry for being late. I need a mesh network hooked up because the internet is too slow. Me, what exactly is slow? I'd like to get an idea of what exactly you are noticing. Customer, well, we can't watch 4K movies, it just buffers the entire time on the television. I take a speed test and the speed is some of the slowest I've seen. It was around a 2 megabits per second down and a 0.7 up. I advised her of this and strongly recommended to speak with her ISP. I told her that the mesh network is mainly for coverage and wouldn't make any noticeable difference on the speed. I mentioned she could return the item, and if needed we could have another look after the ISP had a look at their equipment. The customer apparently came back to the shop and reamed out the sales team as she was sold an item she didn't need, and word got back to me and bingo. Let go. I always felt I did the right thing, but according to the company I lost the sale, oops.